As I believe deeply that the strength and the progress of any school district does start with not only a strategic plan, but one that is thoughtfully developed with as many engaged stakeholders as possible. The last strategic plan that Ramapo Indian Hills Regional High School District had in place was probably about 10 years ago or so. And there were some really good components and aspects of that strategic plan. And there were some other areas that when we were revisiting this planning process this time around, making sure that we were utilizing as many tools and approaches as possible to engage the community. So being able to have ThoughtExchange as one of those tools was critically important. In my first year, knowing that the strategic plan process was going to be commencing this past spring, in advance of that, my superintendent entry plan was really focused on three key aspects. It's listening first, learning second, and leading third. And as we know, as district leaders or building leaders, there are times where you have to make decisions, and you just have to make those decisions based on the information you have at the time. And there are other times when it does pay huge dividends when you're able to have an area of focus where you're creating opportunities to meet with people individually, being visible within the community, creating focus group opportunities for parents through parent coffees, meeting with student council representatives and students beyond student council whose voices may not be conveyed at that table, and hearing from our faculty and staff. But time is a resource. We're only one individual as a superintendent. So how do you best leverage that? Well, utilizing ThoughtExchange in my superintendent entry plan was critical. And it was so valuable as a significant complement to all of those other focus group discussions and schoolhouse visits. So having all of that information in year one really allowed me to learn as much about a new community as possible and to try to identify where the district had been, what people on the ground were feeling, what they identified as the priorities. And the ThoughtExchange tool allowed me to review and analyze that feedback and share it with our leadership team and our Board of Education. And then in addition to that, be able to see where that dovetailed with the feedback that we were getting in person. And there were a lot of connections that we were able to make there. And then taking all of that feedback was really important because it helped us catapult the beginning of the strategic planning process that we had with our team. The opportunity to utilize ThoughtExchange, not just in strategic planning, but just in Leadership 101, day in, day out. It's an opportunity to listen and learn each and every day. We all have something to learn, no matter what role we play in our communities. And by listening and learning, you would just immediately establish a community of trust. And with better information, you get better decisions. And if you make better decisions, then you better support your staff and support the outcomes for your students.